Good morning, Luis. I am Citlali Romo with Samara Martinez. Thank you for joining us this early morning.
Thank you for tuning in. Today is a special Good Morning Lewis as we feature two different What's New at Lewis You Guessed. But first, we are going to start with some of our trending topics.
Dun, 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 dun. Tweet number one.
Hey, Lolly, do you know what time it is?
No, Samara, what time is it?
It's time for trending topics. Okay, so this was my tweet. Okay, because Earth Day was yesterday, and I love Avatar: The Last Airbender. That's Toph. She's so cool. So it's like all the Earthbenders, and I think it's really cool because it shows like all the they're green, obviously for Earth, and it was just really nice to see and good show. So definitely loved it.
I liked it. I think I retweeted that myself.
It's such a good
I remember
tweet.
seeing it, and I was like, oh, happy Earth Day. I like it.
Woot, woot, woot.
On to my next tweet. I love Deadpool. Deadpool is my favorite. Deadpool has been my favorite movie for a long time, actually. And it's actually funny because Ryan Reynolds is obviously Deadpool. Yeah. His birthday is my phone password.
Oh God.
So yeah, there's a Deadpool versus Wolverine is coming out on July 26th. So I'm excited. I will definitely be there to get it.
Oh yeah. Marvel movies, another Marvel Studios production.
So that's exciting.
Oof.
And then now onto our TikToks. Yeah.
So we have 4 today. Woot, woot.
I know, special edition. So this is about the Boys and Girls Club of Joliet.
And it is your after-school program, and so for like those of you who don't know that, it's a nice like nonprofit organization out in Joliet, and it's just really cool to see like what they do for their students.
And there's Lewis University students that. Oh, that is so cute.
Yeah, look at them all, scholar students.
Why I like helping little kids is like so they can develop more skills and so they can like any hard problems they get, so like they can just like go right through them.
And then to learn more, they have social medias and things to look at, and that's just really cool to see. Just because it really does help, like it's a Boys and Girls Club, it's in the title, so to help like see how that helps out children after school. And you know, like you were saying, Lewis students go to mentor.
Yeah, it's good that there's kids receiving help, the extra help that they need, you know?
Yeah.
Be able to succeed more in school.
We love scholar students. Good. On to the next one.
Oh wow, 3D printer.
That is so cool. And to teach them already about that, that is so, look, it's a car. Yeah,
it's cool that they're putting, that they're practicing already on like things like this because they're stepping out of like learning just from the textbook, you know?
Yeah, and even just that they look so young, like for them to grow up and learn about it.
So they're already just learning more.
That's so cool.
Yeah. They're gonna go home to their parents, showing them
like their
parents
new race
like,
cars.
Yeah,
oh, but that's so
cool.
good. Later, they'll get a little more into that. There's a special guest tonight. She'll come out and talk a little bit more about that. So, just giving a little preview.
Onto my next TikTok.
Yeah.
Yes. There's another one.
Yeah, there's 2 more.
Oh, this one's funny. He just started his first day of retirement.
And he's getting it going. Oh, yes. Look at the whole crowd.
And we have a professor who's going to be retiring.
Yeah, we have a legend retiring. He's also another special guest. So maybe this could be him on his first day of retirement.
When is the teacher's last day? It's like
well, commencement weekend. Yeah, about the second weekend. Second week in May.
That's gonna be the retired professors on May 12th.
May 12th. May 12th. Mother's Day won't be Mother's Day. It's first day of retirement.
That is so funny.
So that was like my little TikTok. Just as we do have a legend retiring here from Lewis, and he will be another guest tonight. So
that's exciting.
We'll see what you picked.
This one's funny too. When you're too tired to work, too poor to quit, and too young to retire. As we are just barely getting
Our life started.
Exactly, a foot in the door to our careers.
Yeah, and we're about
There's
to
already
get started.
individuals retiring, unfortunately. We
And
have to wait a little
We
bit.
can't even do that yet. But next up, we will show you what's new at Lewis U.
There are so many rewards in life. You coming into our home was one of the greatest rewards we could have ever had.
You know, it took 20 years, and I got my third child, who was 17 at the time.
It's so cool to watch the adult that you've become, and you really have done as much for us as you think we've done for you.
I don't remember how it started.
Go to that.
Our back and forth. It always came back. Dad! You probably don't remember what you told me,
That was perfect.
but I heard every word.
It is a new day for jobs and careers, and the skills needed to compete are rapidly changing. This is why more students are choosing Lewis University. Lewis prepares you for emerging opportunities in some of the most highly sought after fields. Higher education is the most crucial investment you can make in your future. Lewis provides you with a lasting education that will launch you towards success today and strong growing careers of tomorrow. Begin an education that will pay dividends for a lifetime. Learn more at lewisu.edu.
Good morning, Lewis. I am Josh Calvin, and I am here today representing the Advanced Digital Media class that has been working with the Boys and Girls Club of Joliet this semester. Today, we are very pleased to welcome our guest executive director, Chantel Gamboa, today to talk about the opportunities the club has to offer. And thank you, Chantel. Welcome.
Thank you for having me.
All right. So first off, what is the Boys and Girls Club?
The Boys and Girls Club is an after-school and summer youth, provides after-school and summer youth programs to students in Joliet and the surrounding communities. And so what you're gonna see when you come there is a plethora of programs in academic enrichment, life skills, recreation, mentoring, parent involvement. We serve a meal and a snack to our students so that when they leave our facility, they don't go home hungry. And so we're wrapping amazing services around our kids when they walk through our doors.
Yeah, I mean, we know all the amazing services that the Boys and Girls Club has to offer. You know, the past couple weeks we've been working closely with you, creating a bunch of things. And one thing we wanted to really touch on today is, what does the Boys and Girls Club mean to you, being an ex-member of the club when you were younger?
Yeah, so the Boys and Girls Club, when you enter our club and become a member, you're connecting to a movement. There's a number of people who speak very highly of the club. We've been doing this for more than 100 years. And so it's very special because I was a club kid who grew up in Detroit, Michigan. And like so many club kids out there, when I walked into that space, I encountered adults who deeply cared for me, who wanted to see me progress and reach my fullest potential. And that's what we provide when our kids walk through the doors of the Boys and Girls Club. That when you come into our space, you're entering a space that's very family oriented. It's not just a space where we offer membership and kids come and hang out. It is literally a family. You are really joining an amazing movement.
Yeah, and you know, to have that family aspect is so huge for kids, especially in our Joliet area. You know, keeping all of our kids safe, happy, having something reliable and just a family aspect to go back to every day is super special. And so we're at Lewis here. There's thousands of Lewis students. We're right around the corner from Joliet. How can a Lewis student get involved with the Boys and Girls Club?
So it's a great question. Right now, we currently have some Lewis students who serve as work study students. So we've been in partnership with Lewis University for quite some time. And so even when you saw the TikTok videos at the beginning there, we had a couple of Lewis students working with our kids. And so you can go to our website at bgcjoliet.com and you can inquire that way. Also, you can go through financial aid services, because many of those students, like I said, are more study, and so we generally will get applications through them as well. And so we're constantly looking for kids who can serve as reading mentors, who can serve as academic mentors to help with our 1st through 5th grade students. So we're definitely in need for that.
Yeah, that's absolutely. So to all the Lewis students out
Yes.
there, make sure to stop by the club and say hi to Chantel and everybody there. We know that you guys put on awesome events. We attended your gala a few weeks ago, and that was incredible. And we know there's a 5K marathon coming up. Can you touch a little bit on that?
Yeah, so our 5K is going to be at Joliet Junior College, June the 2nd at 8:30 a.m. And so we're really excited. This is our the first time that we're doing this type of event. And our presenting sponsor is RCK Law Firm. And our staff are getting behind this. Our Research Development Committee, they've been putting in a lot of hard work to get the word out there. This is an inaugural event, and so we're really excited. And all the proceeds we raise goes right back into programs, and that's important because it costs us about $1,500 a year. And what we provide for membership is $10. And for our families, we don't turn them away for their inability to pay. And so that's how passionate, that's how committed we are to youth development services. And so please join us. We're looking for volunteers. We're still looking for sponsorships. You can go to bgcjoliet.com to get more information about that.
And I'm not a runner personally. Are there ways that I can donate without running in the marathon? Can you go online and donate a sum or something like that?
Absolutely, absolutely. You can donate. It's $40. You receive a T-shirt and a medal with your engagement in this event with us. But yeah, you can always donate online. Give a general donation. You can also sponsor. It's all there.
Yeah, really looking forward to that 5K run. And, again, Chantel, just really wanted to thank you for joining us today. And to leave off, I wanted to ask you a question. What do you hope to accomplish with the Boys and Girls Club in the next 5-10 years?
Oh, wow. Well, if anything, I want to see us grow. I want to see us providing more site-based opportunities for our students. Transportation is often a hindrance to our kids getting to the club. And so if we can be able to kind of push services into schools, that will be ideal. And I would like for us to provide, more engaging, more opportunities, specifically in the area of reading intervention, because we want to be one of the leading organizations providing that for our kids. And so I'm looking forward to what the years are going to be like in the future for the club, and I know it's going to be great, so I'm excited about that.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it too. And again, thank you, Chantel. What you're doing with the club is incredible. The club itself is just a joy to have in our community. And thank you for joining us. We will be right back after the break.
All right, thank you for having me.
If I could go back and change it all, I would. I think I'm gonna miss you the most. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. Maybe it's just the little moments. If I could go back and change it all, if I could go back, I would. But I can't.
What are you looking for?
I know kids worry about a lot of things. Getting enough food to eat shouldn't be one of them. Through a nationwide network of food banks, Feeding America serves virtually every community in the United States. See how you can help your community. Visit feedingamerica.org.
So hi, today I'm here with Dr. Anderson, a professor here at Lewis University who has been at Lewis for 33 years but has been teaching for 42 years. So thank you, Dr. Anderson, for joining us today.
Thanks.
All right, so since you have been here for so long at Lewis University, do you want to kind of tell us what has kind of changed over time?
All right, so much has changed. I mean, just the nature of students have changed.
When I first started, students were more, passive, listen to lecture. I could show videos like History of Radio, and they'd actually enjoy them. But today, students want much more engaged learning activities. They want, hands-on and so forth. And so students have changed. The technology obviously has changed dramatically from, blackboards to now teaching on Zoom. And it's changed. In our own discipline, how people use the media has changed dramatically. When I first started, newspapers were popular and they covered local news. Films were popular. But then everything changed as we went from analog to digital, and we have computers and now social media. And so just the way that students encounter media is so different. One thing that's striking to me, for example, is that when I first started, music was a communal activity. People would sit around, students would sit around and listen to music together, sing together, and so forth. Today, though, music is this individual, personal experience. They'll listen to music with earbuds on, with headphones on, and really isolate from the world. So there's been so many changes.
Wow, so being a teacher, throughout the changes and everything, do you like teaching when there really wasn't a lot of technology and a lot of media, when everything was more open, or do you kind of like it a little more now where students are kind of more hands-on?
Well, I liked it both ways. I like the hands-on teaching now. And I've always been much more interactive in teaching anyways, where, I talk and we try and get in discussions and debates. And I just try and incorporate the new technology along the way. And so I liked both.
Okay, yes, because having you as a professor, you've always got us in debates, arguing in class and things like that. So I can definitely see how you like that. But how do you feel about your career and accomplishments here at Lewis?
I feel very good about my career at Lewis. I've been involved in a lot of different stages. When I first came, I worked on the flyer, moderated the flyer. And when I first came, the flyer was still put together with typeface that you pasted up. And we moved to a desktop publishing model, and now you have the flyer as an online publishing model. And then I was very involved in curriculum activities at Lewis, assessment and so forth. And then ultimately I was involved in the Gen Ed, and the revision of the Gen Ed at Lewis. So I've been involved in a lot of activities at Lewis. And I've taught all kinds of classes, from media effects to media history to media research. And I really love them all.
Okay, that's really cool to see that you've kind of just evolved with your time here, as times change. And since you have been teaching for 42 years, where were you teaching before?
Oh, I was at Benedictine before. Okay. And pretty much in the same role. And I decided to come to Lewis because it had so much more equipment and it was a much bigger program. And I could see that it was going to be more successful in media that I was interested in.
Okay, that's kind of getting you were just kind of in the same role and switched over here onto Lewis. And so I know you just listed a couple classes that you teach, but what has been your favorite class to be taught here at Lewis?
Well, I love everything I teach. I even like teaching human comm, as hard as that is to believe. But my favorite is going to be mass media ethics, just because of the debate and the arguments we get into in class.
Okay. Yeah, I did take that class, liked it. It got us all arguing in class going. And so, again, what's kind of a favorite memory you've had here at Lewis throughout your time?
It's hard to pick one. I've got kind of three different ones. I've always enjoyed seeing students learn and develop a passion for learning and develop a passion for the media. And so Professor Miller, I had her as a student and got to see her get really interested in the media, so much so that she went to grad school. And then she came back to Lewis and now will be department chair next year. So, that's really a good memory to see that kind of development. I also have Lewis has provided me so many opportunities, Lewis and the Christian Brothers. And probably the best one of those was when they sent me to Rome for 3 weeks. And for 2 weeks, I got to meet with the faculty from other LaSallian institutions around the world. And that was a really, really nice event because we did, some learning things, but some fun things too. And then I stayed an extra week with my wife and we just ran around Italy, and that was really nice. So I just want to thank Lewis and the Christian Brothers who've been wonderful for that memory. But probably the best thing I did at Lewis was I was heavily involved in revising the general education curriculum that you got to take. No need to thank me, Samara. And so we did a lot of research in terms of what needed to be revised, created the new gen ed, implemented the new general education curriculum. And so I'm really proud of that.
Okay. Well, I appreciate that because I've gotten my general education. But since you are kind of, retiring this year, what are your plans for retirement? What are you are you gonna dance? Are you gonna sing? What are the plans that you have for yourself?
Well, maybe I should learn how to dance. That would be a good retirement project. Well, it'll be some of the traditional things, obviously. Like I've got 3 grandkids, I'll spend time with them. My wife is, as we speak, making travel plans for the next few years. And obviously I'll get a lot of golf in. And my gardening, I'll get that in. Professionally, the entire time I've taught, I've always been involved in media literacy. Whether that's media literacy in terms of the effects of the media literacy in terms of media and politics and civic engagement. And one of the things that's concerning me right now is kind of the death of small town newspapers. And I'm concerned mainly because that's how people got their local political information. So, I mean, the TV is good for providing us national political information and big statewide information like governors. But your local school board, your local city council, you literally have no information. And so I'm interested in kind of exploring opportunities, a lot of opportunities in terms of how to develop media literacy and how to keep our political system working, or at least giving them reliable and valid information.
Okay, because that's a very valid point because, it's kind of fading now. You don't really see a lot of local newspapers. But since you've been here for so long, would you give any advice to Patty who wants to be a professor or teacher and kind of, especially here at Lewis? Would you give any advice to anyone who wants to be a professor here at Lewis?
All right, well, 2 bits of advice. One would be patience. You've got to have a lot of patience because you're working with students. And one of the things I always liked about students is we've had some just fantastic students at Lewis, and we've had some average students at Lewis. And you need to, as a teacher, be able to effectively work with both the C students and the A students, because it can be easy to work with, the highly motivated superstar A student, but you've got to be able to work with the C student, the first generation student as well. And I think that's part of the whole Christian Brother mission. And the second is you have to be able to adjust and adapt to change. As I retire now, education's about to take a huge leap forward into the AI era of education. Every software tool, everything for students, everything for faculty is going to have some AI component built into it. And how we go about responsibly using that's going to be very, very important. Because with media can be a positive tool because media can model thinking, model cognitive behavior. Media can activate cognitive behavior. But media at its worst can short circuit thinking, like spell check, using a calculator to do math. You don't have to do anything except hit 4 times 4. Nothing's going on up here. You just have to know how to hit 4 times 4. And with AI, we could have a lot of that. If a professor goes, give me an intro to radio lecture and pushes print, well, they didn't have to do anything. If a student goes, give me a media ethics paper and hits print, no thinking was going on up there. It can be used as an effective tool to reinforce and engage thinking, to supplement teaching. But I'm a little bit concerned about this bold new world we're about to enter.
Okay, that's great advice to give them out. But since, you know, we've kind of had our interview, you gave us insights. I hope retirement goes great for you. You've been a phenomenal professor. A lot of us, we love you, and the way you teach has really taught us a lot. And I know other professors here do admire you as well. But that is kind of it for today, and we appreciate you coming on board with us.
Thank you, Samara.
All right.
I enjoyed having you as a student.
All right, well, thank you guys for tuning in, and stay tuned for next week.